Alright, welcome back to the What Are You podcast. My name is Megan, this is Josh, this is Diego, and we have a new guest this week, Mr. Curio. So we're just gonna have like casual conversation, ask some questions, what do you do, and all that. So
Sounds good. Thank
alright.
you for inviting me.
Yeah.
This is very exciting.
Thank you for being on.
Yes.
No problem.
So, fourth episode.
Yeah,
Let's get straight to it.
Alright.
Alright, what's first?
So, can you tell us about your upbringing and
Wait, real quick, a little summary of what you do
Oh yeah, there you go.
Alright.
and who you describe yourself as.
Currently, I have my mortgage broker's license,
Mm-hmm.
and I have my broker insurance license. I also have a license. It's called Enroll Agent, where I could represent people when they have tax audit. Hopefully, nobody gets audited by the IRS, but if you do, there's people like me that will go and represent you with the IRS and try to negotiate whatever you owe for pennies. That's how it is. But you have to prove that you cannot pay it back. And so that's my strongest. I've been doing accounting since I was 17 years old.
Oh wow.
So
Dang.
it's been a long time, and I have my offices right here in Huntington Park. And yeah, it's been great. That's what I do, and real estate, insurance, and also I do accounting.
What made you choose to do that?
Accounting first, yeah.
Accounting. When I was younger, I probably was in the 10th grade, high school, and I had pre-calculus at the time. So it was like not too common to see a Mexican,
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
taking pre-calculus. And I was in Lincoln Heights, which is Los Angeles. So it was a lot of Asian students in that class, and I was the only Mexican. So I became popular because I was the only Mexican that was taking that class
Yeah.
at that time. So my teacher, my instructor, he was a teacher full-time, and then part-time he used to do income tax preparation. So he told me, hey, you're kind of smart with the numbers. Can you help me, prepare taxes? I'm like, oh yeah. So that's how I started doing income tax. And then I did it for like 2-3 years. Then I got my license. And also I started doing real estate. I do real estate as well. I do investments, which has been, thanks God, has been great for me. I flip houses. I buy them like really ugly houses. I fix them and then I sell them. But that was since I was 17. In my mind, because I started working at a company. Actually, I work at McDonald's.
Me
I was,
too.
yeah.
I used to.
So we all go through the same.
Yeah.
I was doing the hamburgers, and I
Yeah.
loved it because I used to do the Big Mac like with big because I was 17. At that age,
Yeah.
you eat so much. So I was working at McDonald's, and then I work at Thrifty's. I don't know if you remember.
Thrifties?
Yeah, I
Oh
used to
yeah,
sell that
yeah.
ice cream.
The ice cream,
The
yeah.
ice cream very popular.
Uh-huh.
Then when I was turned 18, I started working at a company that my family was working at, and I had to get up at 7 to go to my high school. High school. I was still going to high school at 17, 18, and then I had to work after from 4 to 12 midnight at the company.
Really?
So I had to wake up at, now I will get to the house like at 1, I had to get up at 7, so I'm like, oh, this is not, I don't know doing this much. I'm putting too much work. I might as well just all this time that I'm putting at the job, I might do it on my own, and probably I could make more money. And always you have to get in your mind that if you want something, it will happen if you put your mind into it. And not just your mind, but you have to take action to get to your dreams. So that's how I started, working on my own.
And how did you come to that conclusion that you wanted to create your own business and not work for a company?
Well, because I love to work. I always, if you want something in life, you have to give not 100%, you have to give 120%. So when I was working at the company, I was the best one, whatever I was doing right there. Even lifting boxes, I will lift 10 and the other guys will lift 7. Like, the main thing that you have to remember, you have to get passion. Whatever you're doing currently in your life, you have to get passionate about it, and you don't feel that you're working. So I'm like, if I put in all this time over here, I might as well just start working on my own and make more money. And I met your mom, Lorena, my wife, when I was 18, close to 19. I was working already at a real estate company.
Oh, real estate company.
Yeah, and I was the youngest. I was just past my 18 and I got my license. And she started working at that company for 2 weeks. She came from Mexico, say, for a vacation for 2-3 weeks. And then she worked at that place, at that company for 1 week, just making phone calls. I remember it was like, oh, it was the caucus, Republican, or, you know, just to see if you wanted to go Republican or Democrat. So she would do that survey. And then I met her, and then she was gonna go back because it was only 1 week at the place that I was working at. And then I liked her because she's beautiful, and I said like, oh, you know, hey, why are you going back to Mexico? And she goes, look, I don't have a job anymore. It was 1 week, and I just came for vacation. I'm like, well, I could give you if you want work for me. And she goes, work for you? You're working over here. No, I have my own office. I'm like, and she goes, do you have your own office? Yeah. And I didn't have it. I'm like, oh, bro. And then she goes, what am I gonna do? I didn't know what to say. I'm like, income tax, because I was doing income tax at the time. She goes, oh, where's your office? Oh, here, nearby. I didn't give her the address because I didn't have the address. So she goes, I don't know, I'll let you know. You know, I had 2 more days to come over here to this place, and I'll let you know. So yeah, on the second day she goes, yeah, well, if you have an offer for me to work, I could be here for another, I don't know, 2-3 weeks. And then because I have to go back, I'm like, fine, that's great. It was like remember it was like a Thursday, and then she goes, when do I start? I'm like, Monday. And she goes, okay, give me the address because I'll, you know, to go to work. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll give it to you. So it was crazy because 2 days I had to get the office, I had to give a desk.
So you did
for
that.
everything. It was crazy. And
That was your motivation.
yeah, the good thing I was doing real estate, so I met this owner that had a building right here in Huntington Park, close to my current office. So I asked him, hey, let me rent that little space that you have right there in your apartment, because it was mixed commercial and residential. It was probably 300 feet. It was so small. I'm like, what are you gonna do? It's too small. Oh, don't worry, Dad. And I said, well, let me tell you the truth. And I told him the truth. He goes, oh, you fall in love so fast. So that was too fast. I'm like, well, yeah. So that's how I started getting my own business, because of my wife, because I offered the job, but I didn't have anything. And I remember the copier, because I got a big copier. You have to go like with the handle, like, and then cut it manually, because it was like back, 1989. Then she goes, what am I gonna do? And I called the phone company. Hey, can I get phone services? It's gonna take about a week. Oh no, it's urgent. Oh, but we're gonna charge you a little extra. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And I told all my friends from the real estate company, hey, call this number. After I got the number, again they say, oh, Monday they're gonna install it on Monday. So I told all my friends, call me, just ask for me. Make appointments that, make it sound busy, but it was just my friends. It was no clients. So
You had a whole plan.
Yeah, and Lorena, my wife, she goes, oh, you have all these appointments. I'm like, that's great. But nobody showed up because it was just, I postponed it. I'll go to their house. That's how I started my business, my office, and then after 1 year we became, boyfriend, girlfriend, and then.
How old were you when you?
I was 19.
Oh, 19.
Oh, wow.
19, so I proposed and she goes, okay, yes. After some time of, a relationship, I proposed and she goes, okay, fine. Well, let's get married. I'm like, what am I saying this? But, because I was young.
Yeah.
But it worked out good. I had blessing of 3 kids, 3 children, Diego, Nestor, and Alex, and being happy with my kids and everything. So, yeah, the thing is, like when you're young, like you guys are young and fresh and have everything to make your dreams come reality. But your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. Because if your mind is not there, you can say, oh, I have a feeling that I want to do this. Oh yeah, but your mind, you have to have your mind very strong. Like your mind will tell you, oh, well, actually, the feeling will tell you go to sleep and wake up late.
Mhm.
But your mind is no, wake up early. Go and do what you have to do. Do it and hustle. Do get close to your dreams, but with action. And that's why your mind, if it's make it stronger, it's gonna be better than your feelings. That's how And I know you guys have it. I want to see you 3-4 years ago be at least $1 million richer than you are today, and that's a fact. That's a fact because I seen you guys. I wish when I was younger that I had what you guys have right now, technology.
Oh yeah.
Before they used to work harder, to make money.
Mhm.
Right now with the
My parents did
internet,
too.
look at Amazon, all these companies, making so much money. Look at the Tesla, and so short
Oh,
years
yeah.
they make so much money. So
Yeah.
you're at the great time technology. Just the best is coming up with these internet 3 or 2, I don't know, something more powerful, and you guys are at the best time of your life right now to make money. And I'm not. It's not just money, but if you love what you do, money comes secondly. But it will follow you wherever you are. But you have to have that passion to do what you
Yeah.
what you love to do. If you don't have passion, wherever you go, you're not gonna enjoy it, and you're not gonna be happy, and you're not gonna be successful in life.
Mhm.
How did you find your passion of doing what you do, and how did you start to?
Well, actually, that's a good question, because when I was younger, I always dreamed to becoming a pilot. I like
just
pilots.
like
Yeah,
Alex.
like my son
yeah,
Alex.
yeah.
So I remember I signed up for the Air Force after coming out of high school. Then I'm like, yeah, I'll go for 3-4 years to the Air Force. And the sergeant goes, yeah, but if you want to be a pilot, you gotta be there at least 7 to 10 years. I'm like, I don't care, I'll be there 20 years because I want to be a pilot.
Yeah.
But guess what? My mom always told me, oh, you were born in Texas. And I'm like, oh, yeah, American. But then in reality, when it was time to show them my legal documents, because the sergeant from the Air Force, they asked me, give me your birth certificate. I'm like, Mom, give me my birth certificate, because I gotta give it to this guy. Oh, son, I gotta tell you the truth. You don't have papers. You're illegal. I'm like, what? Yeah, you don't have legal documents. You came as a tourist and then you stay here and that's it. You don't have legal documents. You can't work. You can't do anything. I'm like, oh. But then, thanks God, after 2 years after that, it became the amnesty, where all these people that have been here for many years, you can fix your papers.
Yeah.
So because I couldn't be a pilot because you had to be like
Yeah.
U.S. citizen, then my option was like, what am I gonna do? And I always love houses. I always was interested in real estate. So I'm like, I'm gonna do real estate. And because I was helping my instructor, my teacher do accounting, I'm like, that's what I'm gonna do. So I started doing that. That's how I started doing it. But my dream was to become a pilot at the
Yeah.
beginning.
Mhm.
Like,
Do
life changes.
Do you ever look back and be like, oh, what would life be like if I was a pilot?
Well, I do have my private license as a pilot.
Oh.
But it's not current because obviously you had to certify, you had to do hours. But sometimes I think, what would it be if I was a pilot? I'm like, oh, probably I wouldn't have my kids, my children,
Yeah.
my life, and so I don't regret. You can never regret and go back and say, oh, I regret not doing something.
Yeah.
As long as you do with love and passion, and you're like, okay, I think this is the best thing to do right now because option A is not there, so I'll go option B. But then continue, and then, yeah, it's been a blessing since.
Yeah.
So then,
So can you describe to the audience like your background, like how you grew up, where you grew up, and maybe some like financials in your family growing up, and if there are any changes?
well, yeah, when I grew up, I came here to the United States when I was probably 9 years old, or 10, something like that. I was 10 years old, and my family, the background of my family is like low income, honestly. I was the last one coming to the United States because all my brothers, my mom came to the United States. My dad, I never grew up with my dad because when I was 5, my mom and my dad separated. So I never met my dad after 5 years. I was 5 and never in my life I have seen my dad. I know he passed away like 10 years ago in Chicago, but I was like, oh, feel bad, you know, but it's not connection because I didn't grow up with my dad. So when I came from Mexico, we lived in a house. It was 3 bedrooms, and it was like 20 of us. You know, that's how we used to do it before, especially Hispanics, Mexicans. In the house, you put everybody in there. You know, it was like, and in the same bed, like 3 people on the floor, on the sofa, on the couch, everywhere. You know, sleeping because you had to. That's the low economics that we have financially, and so after I started doing real estate, I kind of told my family, look, you gotta buy real estate, you gotta buy a house, because if you don't, you're gonna be paying rent the rest of your life. Instead of paying mortgage and having the property appreciate and make money on the property. So all of them, probably like 15, which is my family, have a house that is paid for already. They have at least $500,000 to $1 million on the properties. Only one, I don't want to say bad about my brother, but he's the only one that didn't purchase property. He still pays rent at the same location for almost 30, 40 years. Same apartment, I'm like, but that's mentality. That's because you don't want to take risk. I remember I told him, look, you gotta buy a house. Only 3%. You know, 0 down payment. Because you could buy it with 80, 10, 10 and different financial options, or the mortgage was very flexible. He goes, no, I feel like I don't want to be 30 years like a slave paying the mortgage. I'm like, okay, you gotta be the rest of your life paying rent. Why you want to be all of your life, the rest of your life, or 30 years?
Yeah, 30 years.
So he said, no, that's okay. And at that time, it was like 100,000 that he would purchase price. Right now, the property is like 600 or 700. But you know, it's just taking risk, but not just dumb risk. It has to be smart risk, and just take action. You know, if you don't, like I say, take the chance, or you're not gonna do anything in life. But you have to get into it. You have to. No halfways. You have to go full time, full force at it. Yeah,
and for my business people out there, how would you describe the difference between good debt and bad debt?
Well, actually,
because you know how real estate is good debt.
Talking about the real estate.
Yeah, because when you take a loan, you're taking on debt, but it's good.
Well, actually. It's always good to work and make money, but you don't want to put all the money into buying a house. Let's say you have 200,000. Why you want to put 200,000 to buy a house when you could go to the bank, get 200, and buy the house with the loan? Give us little down payment as you can. Get the money 200 or 180, whatever is left, invest it, and you get passive income. And then you pay with out of that 200, you could even get payment of the mortgage if you know how to invest it correctly. So I recommend debt. People's afraid of it, but it's the best thing you can do in your life. Get loans. You want to buy something, get loans. Why? Because you're using other people's money, and then but you have to be smart with it and invest it in passive income where it will generate more income. Let's say you get a loan for 3%. Okay, you pay 3% interest, but then you invest your money. Like you could buy the government; they'll pay 9.5 if you put money into the government, into the bonds. That makes just common sense. Go with the government, put 200, get 9.6, and then pay the mortgage 3%. You still make money.
And right now, there's you can put up to $10,000 in that right now, correct, per year.
10,000 per person. Let's say it's like husband and wife, and then you could even put it for your children under 18, but it has to be under your name.
Yeah.
So let's say you have husband and wife and 3 kids, 50,000. You put it in the government bonds, you get 9.65, something like that. It's a lot of money, and that's why borrow money. You have to borrow money to make wise investments, not just to waste it. Like I will tell myself, vacation, not at this time. I'll do vacations when the time is right.
Mm.
You know who, when you're young and you're not responsible, you know who takes more vacations? The people that in completely in debt with their credit cards. Those are the guys that are taking vacations because they don't care. They're like, oh, I'm gonna pay the airplane and the hotels with my credit card. I'm like, you don't have the money. Why you want to be in debt in that to go and
So
to
that's
vacations?
bad debt right there.
But
Mhm.
yes,
Yeah.
it is. So loans to invest.
What do you
not-
think about student loans?
Oh, student loans? Yeah, it's necessary because if you get student loans, the good thing right now,
Mhm.
Government is more flexible on the payments.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, you have to invest money in yourself as
That's
well.
true.
So if you have to pay interest on student loans,
Mhm.
go ahead and do it, because then you can become professional, and then you can pay all the student loans that you owe.
Mhm.
So the thing is, if you could borrow money, borrow and invest it, and whatever you have to do investments to generate the passive income.
Mhm.
And passive income is not too taxable, so sometimes most of the time you don't pay taxes on it.
Mm.
So that's great. That's how.
And with the loan, say you take that loan out of your house payment, say you borrow $100,000, is it correct or true that you don't have to pay taxes on that loan that you're paying back?
And it's true in a way, because if you refinance, let's say your property is worth 800,000
Mm-hmm.
and you owe 300, get 200 out of the on a refi loan, and that 200 you never have to pay interest. You don't have to you pay interest, but you don't pay taxes on that money that you get out of the refi, because that's a passive income. So that's the beauty about real estate.
And because the loan is technically not your money, that's why you don't have to pay taxes on it, right?
Yes, it's like all these rich people. How they think they buy their houses? I guarantee you, Vessels, this guy,
I think Zuckerberg did that, where he still
Yeah.
got a loan.
yeah, they have loans on their
Yeah.
properties. They could pay cash. Come on,
Mhm. Yeah.
they don't could not pay 3 million, 5 or whatever they pay for the houses, but they get a loan and they write it off out of their taxes.
Mhm.
And then when they refi, they get money out and then they invest it. So they could pay property cash, but they're not gonna do it because you have to be smart with money. That's why doing kind of information like this, going into the internet, taking a financial classes will help you
Definitely.
kids to go to your dreams. But I always say dreams are just dreams if you don't take actions.
Mhm.
Actions will get you to the dream, but you have to take the necessary steps and pay the price. It's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember, no vacations for me. Right now I gotta work. I gotta work 5 years or whatever. But guess what? Right now I could go vacations for 3 months,
Mhm.
2 months.
Wow.
I always go to the World Cup. Like I'm going to
Yeah.
Qatar, and it's gonna be like a month that I'm gonna stay over there.
Mhm.
So, but I paid the price. But what's the price that I paid? Being responsible, no vacations, getting up early, no procrastination. The
Mhm.
way you have to do, I will put my list of what I wanted to do next day, or
Mhm.
because sometimes you go to sleep and you're like, I got 10 things that I have to do tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But then you go tomorrow and you only do 2 because your mind is something. What?
Mhm.
I had something pending, but you write it down, and I will do it. I was doing it. Every night I will write down the 10 things or the 20 things that I had to do next day,
Mhm.
and then I will just get the paper. Or sometimes now with technology, you do it on your phone on
Yeah.
Yeah.
things to do, and then I will just I did 3, 4, 5, and it was easier than just trying to remember.
Mhm.
Write it down your what you have to do for the next day. So yeah, that's how you got to be strong in your mind to give, like I said, it takes more time to be poor, not to make money,
Mhm.
Mhm.
than to make money. You put less time making money than look at a lot of people that don't have money. They spend a lot of time going to borrow money from families,
Mhm.
or not being able to buy even food because they don't have the money.
Mhm.
So what you rather be, hustle a lot and then work a lot of hours and make it, or put more hours and not having any money. So it's just a wait, whatever you want. A lot of people will tell you, enjoy life. work hard, but you have to take party every weekend. That's not truth. I mean, have you seen people when they party every weekend?
Mhm.
They don't enjoy it anymore.
Mhm.
They're like, oh,
Mhm.
one more time, same thing. So, but if you go party once a month, you enjoy it more because then the other time you invested on yourself or your plans to grow. Once you get to that level, you can take 3 months vacation, do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Dang. So what's your work-life schedule right now?
Mhm.
Well, interesting. Right now I'm kind of staying home.
Mhm.
Stay here, wake up late. Sometimes I go do exercise.
Mhm.
I do when I had to do investments, like buy a house and fix it and sell it. Then I wake up early, and I still do investments, but I don't have to go to the office every day because I have my workers at the
Mhm.
office.
Yeah.
They just call me if there's something that they need assistance with, and
Mhm.
then I will go. Like the last 2 days, yesterday and day after yesterday, I went to the office, but then sometimes I go like once a month
Oh wow.
to the office.
Dang.
That's because you go to another level
Mhm.
where that's why I tell people when you're young, no vacations, yeah, you take off one day or two, but wasting time and money. When you if you go on a party, how much you gonna spend on the party? Like whatever you do, eating a lot of treating your friends, which is good. You probably spend $100,
Mhm.
200 when you can save the money and invest it. And when you be a little older, like 25, then you could go and, hey, everybody, I'll treat you because I got my money already. I did a lot of investments, and that's how it is. That's the mentality when you want to be rich,
Mhm.
fast, and young. But you have to pay the price, and the price is not. It's not fun to party all the time. That is not fun.
Mhm.
Not every weekend, at least.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's true.
And I have a pretty controversial topic if you want to tell me about it.
What is it?
What's your thoughts on? Wait, so you didn't go to college, correct?
No.
Same.
Well, I went for 6 months only,
Mm,
and then I stopped. I went to East LA College. I went when I came from Mexico. I went to elementary, junior high, and then high school, and then 6 months of college. I'm like, so what was the question?
so what's your thoughts on college nowadays? Like, is it worth it or not worth it? And depending on what you get into, obviously.
Mhm.
Well, honestly, this is controversial because people will, nowadays, what the
Mhm.
parents are telling the kids,
Oh,
you have to go to college,
Yeah.
get your bachelor's, get your associates, do whatever. And I'm like, okay, I see a lot of clients when I did their tax returns,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and I know the parents paying a lot of money for the kids to go to college,
Mm-hmm.
and they like 23, 22, barely getting their bachelor's, and then they go for the masters, and then I as the kids, what are you doing right now? You got your bachelor's out of UCLA. What are you doing, or whatever college, USC or whatever?
Mhm.
Sure. What are you doing right now? Oh no, nothing. I'm helping my father. You helping your father? What is your father doing? Oh, he's doing landscaping. I'm like, that's very. I respect that kind of job, but with the bachelor's, you're doing that kind of work.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, because they tend to be too lazy and they don't know what they want in their lives. If you don't know what you want, you go to college. You're kind of wasting a lot of years. I don't encourage kids not to go to college.
Mhm.
But if mentality is that you want to work on, be self-employed, have your own business, college will not teach you the facts of life. It's like if I tell you, oh, I'm gonna show you how to fly an airplane,
Mhm.
but I'm just gonna be talking to you. It's not the same
Yeah,
as how I
true.
get you on the airplane. I'm like, hey, move this one, move that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
So
experiences,
life experience is better than theory, like.
Yeah, yeah.
And what about the kids that are like, they're lost and are going to college because they don't know what else to do and are trying to figure it out in college.
Well, a lot of kids sometimes they at last minute they know what they want.
Mhm.
I'm not saying that going to college is bad. I'm saying that you have to know what you want,
Yeah.
and it don't matter if you go to college or not. Look at Tesla. What's this guy?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. He didn't go to college.
Mhm.
I mean, a lot of these people don't go to college because they're too busy right now with technology, trying to make their dreams come true. So if you go to college, if you don't have a dream, go ahead, go to college and then get your bachelor's and your master's and then see what's ahead for you in life. But if you have that, what it takes to have your own business, to be independent financially, but soon, like within 3-5 years, then start working on your business. Otherwise, it's gonna be some years in college. A lot of people, when they do a life training, like real life, they have more knowledge than kids that go to college. Because what they teach in college? Math, calculus. How many times are you gonna use calculus? Unless you become an engineer. But if you're gonna become an engineer, then you stay in college, because then from there you go to another route. But there's a lot of kids. They're like on their senior year in college. What you want to do in your life? I don't know yet. I want to be maybe architect, maybe engineer, maybe I don't know. I'm like, well, you should know. Well, when I get my bachelor's, I'll think about it. No, you have to plan ahead on the first year when you're a freshman. You have to know of sophomore what you want in life, and that's the mentality. But we have to know that not everybody has the same mentality. Like you guys, I know you want, like doing this podcast and all these things. You starting at a level, then you'll be surprised in 6 months, a year, how you can grow your passion, because this is passion. And guess what? When you put a lot of passion to it, the money will automatically flow, will come, because you put a lot of time. And sometimes when I'm at the office or doing investments, I might go and spend all day outside, but I don't like, it's 10 hours, 14 hours. I'm like, you get into it, all passionate about what you're doing, so you don't even feel the time. Why you rather go outside and try to find a good deal in real estate, even if you're 14 hours outside, or be at the house, all sleepy and watching TV and feel so bored, like and go back to sleep, and you know, not knowing what to do. So I'd rather be outside looking for real estate deals or investments. So it's up your mentality, but it's beautiful once you start. Sometimes, and the bad thing about people who wants to have the financial freedom, they give up so much. They give up so soon. They quit, and they're like, oh, never quit. Sometimes you realize, I'm climbing up the mountain is so hard because I have to put more hours. You know, my friends are going out to party and I'm here working. Yeah, but sooner or later you'll be over the mountain. You're not even gonna feel it. And some people give up so fast. Never give up. It's exciting when you want to do something and you reach that level. You're like, I'm here already, and that makes me happy. And a lot of people find happiness, you know, when they do things like that. Not just like, working. It's passion in life. You know, like you guys, what was the most important moment of your lives? Like if I ask you, Josh, what's your most important moment of your life?
Right now, shoot, most important.
See, let me. A lot of people will say, when I got married, my marriage. Oh, when my son was born, the first one. Or when I purchased my first house. But that's not true. You know what's the most important time of your life? Right now. Right now is the most important time of your life. Right now.
Present moment.
Yes, because that's a gift from God. You're right here. This is your time. Forget about the past. The past you use it to learn mistakes because remember in life, if you want to do something in business, you have to know you're gonna fail sometimes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And if you feel like, I failed in this, that's I'm giving up. No, you're not gonna give up. You fall 7 times, get up and 8 times, and continue. And then you will find at the end that I made it. I failed 7 times, I got up 8 times. That's why I'm here. That feels so good. So always remember, the most important time of your life is right now. It's the present. It's the gift of God that is given us. You know, that we could be right here having a good time, conversation, and that's mentality. Is changing your mind
And what would you say for those people that, creating a business is not easy at all? Like, it's easier said than done. So what would you recommend for them that are like, I just lost, like 5 businesses just failed. What do I do now? Like, what do you recommend for them?
Well, if you failed 5 times, I want you to get up and get another business, and even the same or a different one. Sooner or later, you're gonna be on top of the mountain. Failing in business is part of it. But guess what? Every time you fail, you're gonna learn something from it. So that's the wise. You get so wise in terms of knowledge when you fail, because it's part of it. It's part of being independent. If you're afraid to fail, you don't go back into a company and sitting down, or cooking for McDonald's hamburgers. If you fail to, if you're afraid to fail, you gotta be strong and say, it's part of it. If I failed, it's okay. I'm gonna continue. Kobe Bryant. I remember Kobe Bryant. I don't know if you guys. He used to practice like 2-3 hours before the other guys. And he was good, and he could say, I'm getting paid. Like his last year with the Lakers, I'm getting paid like $20 million. I don't have to work. I don't have to practice that much because I'm gonna retire one more year. Why do I have to practice more than the other guys? But he did it because it was his passion. He goes, I gotta give the best out of me every time I do something. I don't care about the money. He cared about giving the best out of him. That's what you have to think all the time. Give the best out of you. Like when he was practicing, many times he didn't make the shot, and sometimes they lost the games because he didn't make the shot. But guess what? Many times he made the winning shot for the team. So you have to be up there and shoot the ball. Don't be afraid of shooting the ball. Let's take shots, in the business. And mentality, part of becoming independent and having a financial freedom is you're gonna fail. You're gonna fail automatic. Look at all these guys that have made money. Like Disney, the guy that opened the Walt Disney. Yeah, he had like 5 businesses that he failed before. Look at Donald Trump. He became a president, right? You know how many times he lost money in his investments, but he has a lot of money. Why? Because he kept on doing it. So failing is part of life, and you have to know how to take it, and don't be negative. And the other thing is,
I was gonna ask you. So, with business, like creating your own thing, you're gonna have haters, no matter what. So, how do you address that?
For me, every time I have somebody that tells me, "Oh, you can't do it. It's not gonna be possible." I'm like, "Thank you," because that's fuel for me. It's like, there's like a fire and they put more wood into it. I'm like, "Oh, come on, give it to me. Let me show you." But you know who it will come from? The losers.
Yeah.
The losers will tell you that.
Because they have time to do that, to talk about you.
Well, they just feel like
it's the people who try to bring you down to their level.
Yeah, exactly.
And if it comes from somebody who had made it in life financially, they're never gonna tell you it's not possible. They say, "Go ahead, do it. You can do it. You're gonna do it." But all these people, they said, "Oh no, come on!" Like when they told me, how many H&R Blogs and Liberty Taxes offices. There's so many. Why do you think you can compete with them? I'm like, I'm different. I'm gonna give better service. I'm gonna be the best. Study all the laws, and when they come to me to prepare the taxes, they're gonna know is the best taxes at the best price. So I'm probably one on number 2 in California in volume per office. Yeah, probably H&R Block might have more customers than me or all these companies, but office to office, I'm the one who has more volume in just one office. And all these people that told me, what makes you feel like you can compete against these giants, they're in the stock market and you don't have that much money. I'm like, well, come on, come on, bring down negative because that it's like fuel for me. It's like the gas, you know. If you put gas in the car and it goes faster, that was for me like, yeah, come on. And then I would look, who's telling me that? Oh, the guy that is unemployed is getting government assistance, which is sometimes you have to get government assistance. But I'm like, yeah, it's coming from you. Or all cholos, you know, tattoos on their faces. And I'm like, okay, thank you very much. Yeah, inside I'd be respectful because that's his mentality. But inside of me, oh man, that's why you're where you are because you don't have the mentality. So you know, take every people that tells you negative things that it's not possible, take it as a fuel because you're gonna be stronger. Come on, bro, give it to me because that will. It's like a battery. It will charge even stronger for mental and physically. It's better when they say like it's impossible. Okay, that's for you, but not for everybody else.
Yeah.
Going back to the college thing, what were your first thoughts when Diego said he was gonna drop out?
Oh, yeah.
Well, actually, my situation was different because my parents would kind of tell me, "Oh, are you sure you want to go to college?" I'm like, why? Because you need to work. Look, we're low income, you know. And I'm like, my mom was like, but you know, if you want to go, I'll work extra hours. I would, you know, even extra part time, besides my full time, to support. And you know, the beauty about being in the U.S., if you want to go to college and you be smart and the way you have to do, you get all these financially. So there's no excuses. But for me, it was kind of, I'm not going to college. Now I got to do good on my own, on my business, because they're going to say, oh, you didn't go to college and look, you're not doing anything. So you cannot have both, not go to college and don't do anything, because that will make you so sad in your life. That's why you have all these people drinking, partying, and don't know what they want to do with their lives. But if you have both, you want to go to college and have your own business, it's a beauty. If you want to be 100% doing your business only, don't go to college, just make up and you have to make decisions. Okay, it's okay, I didn't go to college, but look what I'm doing over here. And most important, you have to be good to the community, to the people. All integrity is very important. Everything you do in life, it has to be integrity. If you're not, even if nobody's watching you, and you could take a microphone because everybody left and a microphone is here, leave it there. It's not yours. Because if you take it, the karma will come back and say, you're stealing something from there. So leave it there. It's okay. Sometimes I don't know if it happens to you guys, like you go to the restaurants. And like last time I went to a restaurant and ordered to go, and they gave me not the right order. So it's okay, give us 10 minutes, we'll make a new order for you because it was not the correct order. So I was on the phone and they put the food right there, then okay, thank you so much. They thought I had paid because it was like 3 people when I was with cashier. And then I was like on the phone I'm like, oh. I got up and I got the bag and I'm like, no, I didn't pay. So I went back to the guy and I said, hey, I didn't pay you. And nobody charged me, but I didn't pay you. He goes, oh, that's nice of you. Do you want, they say, do you want a margarita? Because they make it so good right there. I'm like, no, I'm good. Okay, it's so good, you know, that we still have honest people. You're coming back when we thought you had paid. You came back and voluntarily said, I didn't pay. Here, I'm paying for the food. That's great. And they called the people right there, the waitress and the waiters, and said, hey, look, gentlemen did this over here for the restaurant, and they're like, oh, it feels good. But nobody has to be watching you to do the right thing and have integrity. Always have that in your mind. It's so easy to break the integrity, but it's just lying to yourself and not doing good to yourself.
Yeah. So
I think karma too.
Going back to the question, what were your thoughts when Diego dropped out?
Going back to the question.
At the beginning, it was kind of like, because my oldest, he went to college. The middle one, Alex, went to college. And when Diego told me, he's the youngest, he goes, only 1 year and then, but he he sold it so good because he goes, Dad, look,
You sold this.
you're gonna spend 45,000 or 50,000 for college plus the
Per year.
dorms,
Mhm.
plus the food, plus traveling, and I want to save you money. You don't have to pay for that.
Mhm.
But I want to become independent in business, and I want to grow and I don't want to. I can't go to college if that's my dream to become do my business.
Mhm.
And I'm like,
Mhm.
oh. No, like, I'm saving like 200, at least 200,000. But it wasn't up. It was it's money, but I'm like, because I know if I would kind of push him to do it, go to college, he probably would be in a different situation.
Mhm.
But I'm like, the way he sold it to me, not just because of the money, but because of all he wanted to do and all those things. I'm like, all right, try it.
It's because also I believed in myself
Mhm.
100%. Like I went all in.
Yeah.
I didn't want a backup option. I didn't want to plan
Yeah.
B.
So did you believe in him 100% at
Yeah.
that time, or?
Yeah, because in my mind, I never told them, oh, no, I don't know what you're thinking, you have to go to college, because
Yeah.
if you don't go to college, all parents would want
Yeah.
our kids to go to college, because for us, that's like ego, like, oh yeah, I sent my kid to college, even though he's
Yeah.
not doing anything, even though he's
Yeah.
a loser, but I sent him to college,
Yeah.
that's just for us.
Mhm.
But we don't think
ego
about the kids,
thing.
like you
Yeah.
guys, like what is it that you really
Yeah.
passionate about in life. Not and to be honest with you, having a bachelor's nowadays is not the same as before.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Because you get out of college and you go to work.
Mhm.
Oh well, you got a bachelor's? Oh, that's fine. What experience you have?
Mm,
Oh, I went to
yeah.
college. Yeah, I know. What experience you have? and nowadays, masters. It's so competitive. Even if you want to become a doctor, if you want to become anything,
Mhm.
and then I have a lot of respect for people from Asia and from India and even from Latin America or Mexico,
Mhm.
because they're so dedicated.
Mhm.
But most of the Asians, they come from Asia and they already have all these really hard classes, like
Oh yeah.
advanced classes,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and so it's very competitive and it's a lot of stress for the kids. So
Mhm.
now it's different. It's like, okay, with all technology, whatever you want to do, if you really are serious about it and gonna pay the price, because it's not easy.
Mhm.
And sometimes you can't even go to sleep because what do I do? Decision time. But yeah, at the end, I did believe in Diego, and I still believe 100% that he's gonna do great. I always remember Donald Trump. I don't know if you see Donald Trump when he talks. He fakes so much. He lies sometimes too much about, like when he said, "Oh, everybody vote for me because I'm gonna be a president." He believed so much that he was gonna be a president. When a lot of people, you can't be a president. You do real estate. You don't have politics. You didn't go
Yeah.
to all these classes that all these lawyers and people go, judges, and that's how they become all these presidents. He believed so much in what he was saying.
Mhm.
That's why he became president.
Mm.
So you have to believe in what you're saying and act what you're saying, and you will get there,
Mhm.
100%. But yeah, the trust is right there with Diego, and all kids that are young and they want to do something in life, go ahead and do it.
Mhm.
You gotta pay the price, but remember, dreams with no actions is just dreams. You have to take the steps to get close to where you want.
Mhm.
And sometimes you see everything dark. You're like, where am I going? What am I doing? But then the dark goes away, and then you see, oh, this is where I'm going.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't do anything in their lives. They see all dark. They don't know where they're going.
Mhm.
They don't see the brightness of the future because they just see dark. That's why they get lost too much.
Mhm.
But that's why you guys, young and fresh, and then you have that mentality. Don't let people get you out of your mentality. Mentality is the strongest that you can have, and mentality with the action
Mhm.
is what. And most of the times when we do bad decisions or poor decisions, it's because you let feelings do the decisions, not your mind. I don't know if you sometimes you do. Oh, yeah, you're upset or very happy, even though you could be very happy, and sometimes you do most of the decisions that are bad for you or poor decisions is because you put a lot of you don't put your mind into it.
Mhm.
You let the feelings, the emotions control it. So remember, mind has to be over emotions, over your feelings, over everything.
Mhm.
Because you set up your mind, and every time you wake up, energy, even though everybody's telling you, oh, it's impossible. Yeah, you'll get it.
Discipline.
And how is it like? So talking about your family, how is it like raising three
Three
boys?
boys. Yeah, three.
Oh boy.
Like
Yeah,
all boys.
boys.
And what do you want? Like, would you have wanted a daughter? Like, or no?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like every parent, or like myself, as a father, I had my kids, my boys,
Mm-hmm.
and then I thought, maybe having a baby girl, because baby girls are more close to to dad,
Oh.
and different feeling, and I'm like, okay, probably I don't know that part of connection between a daughter and a father,
Mm-hmm.
but I've been blessed with my boys, and I probably don't know that feeling, and probably I don't need it,
Mm-hmm.
because I find everything with my kids.
Yeah.
My boys, it's like I do everything with them. I play around with them, basketball, or then we get into business.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But probably I will, because when I had my second one,
Mm-hmm.
or the first one, I'm like, probably the second one would be a baby girl. That would be
Oh,
good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
At least came out with my okay, and then I'm like, oh, probably the next one. Nah, it's a boy. Okay, and then we stop. No, it's gonna be all boys.
Boys.
Yeah.
Oh,
So three is good. I think you cannot nowadays, if you have more than three, it's not good for you, because you put a lot of time on the kids and not in your business, and then it's
Yeah.
very
Very,
too many problems.
Yeah.
So three the max, two is perfect,
Mm-hmm.
one is really good too.
Yeah.
But I say 2 or 3, the max is the perfect number of kids you should have if you want to do good in life. Because
Mm-hmm.
why do you have 6? Why you can?
Yeah.
It's impossible. To
Back
do
then it
that.
was
Yeah, Josh.
normal.
Yeah, how many do you want?
He says he wants a whole basketball team.
All right.
No, that is jokes. Mostly 2 or 3. That's realistic. Realistically, yeah. 2 or 3.
That was a blessing, having kids,
Yeah.
even if it's a girl, it's a boy, it's a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell a lot of my friends, oh, you don't know what really happiness is until you have a child. Then you see the difference. You might say, oh, I'm very happy. Oh, you could be very happy. Wait until you have a child, and then you're gonna see what a different love it is.
Mm-hmm.
You discover something else.
Yeah,
in
that's
life.
true.
So that's why I'm saying the most important time in your life is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I mean, you might have a kid in the future, which will be beautiful. That's a dream, but don't take the steps to do it yet.
I hope it.
You gotta
Appreciate it.
First is the business, and
Yeah.
you have to become kind of develop yourself as a business or whatever you want to pursue in life. And believe me, it's not that I'm saying that if you work at a company is bad. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that. But people sometimes we are different, and we want something else. We want to pay the price to have our own business and have those headaches, sleepless nights, and sometimes feeling like crying. And then when everything goes good for you, you're like, people say, the guy's crazy, he's jumping and laughing. But we only know what's going on.
Yeah.
But then when something goes like, not to get, you get like, but then you're like, okay, that's part of it. That's part of it. I cannot be 100% accurate in everything that you do in business. Sometimes it is what it is. But as long as you take risk, but manage the risk, not just I'm gonna jump out of an airplane because I like to take risks. No, man, that would be crazy. Because you don't have a parachute, you don't have nothing. What's gonna happen if you jump out of the airplane? You're gonna die. And you say, "Oh, I was told that I need to take risks." I'm not the same person. Dumb risk. You have to be smart and manage your risk, and that's how you do good in life. See, a lot of people say, "So I'll take a risk. I'm gonna drink 50 years and see what happens.
Oh,
That's not a risk. That's being dumb.
Yeah.
no.
And for investments, what investments are you into right now?
Well, I'm in the stock market.
Uh-huh.
In the crypto. I have properties, real estate properties.
Mhm.
I have units that I put for sale right now, and I'm making a good house right here in Palmdale. No, not Palmdale, in Palm Springs.
Mm.
It's gonna be a nice, beautiful house, and I want to make it so beautiful so when we go over there for vacation or
Mhm.
stay weekends, that's happiness. Is because you go to your place. You don't go and pay other people to have fun. So I have real estate. I have my office, my business that is running. It's running 6 days a week,
Mhm.
and I train all the personnel at the office. I don't have to be personally there,
Mm.
only when it's needed. But then before, guess what? I was working 7 days
Mm.
before I got to that level. And the thing is, once you cannot do everything like in the office. I cannot be doing like income tax, insurance, real estate because it would be impossible.
Mhm.
You get the right people, train them, put them there, then you have them do the work for you, and you make money. I'm sitting here and I'm making money at the office because I have my people, I have my managers working for me,
Mm.
and they make money, but it's not the same that I'm making.
Mm.
You know, the closer you are to where the money is how you make more money.
Mm.
Who's closer to the money? I am because I'm the owner. Then the managers, then like whoever do the maintenance, they're further away from the money. That's why they make less money. So always, and very important. Like I said, tell me who you hang around with,
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
and tell
Yeah.
me if you're a loser or you're. Yeah, because it's
The-
important.
If the losers, you're a loser.
The 5 people you
Yeah.
hang around with is who you are.
The average, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes I love my friends. Sometimes I don't hang around with them too much because they like to drink too much. I'm like, I could drink. I'm not saying I don't drink, but I don't abuse your
Mm.
system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm not. I've seen some of my friends becoming alcoholics already.
Mm.
yeah.
So it's to your mentality.
Yeah.
Why you want to get lost in alcohol? If I still have a lot of that time to be doing something else.
Mm.
I could be doing investments. I could be traveling. I could be doing something else that makes me happy. And whatever makes you happy, then why not? Because I'm happy drinking 50 beers. No, that's not happiness. You're trying to get away from reality.
Yeah.
That's just being hiding behind something that you're not happy.
Mhm.
What does happiness mean to you?
Oh.
Yeah.
Good. Happiness is enjoying every time of your life. I don't know. I'm very faithful in God,
Yeah.
and everything I do, even when I go with Diego and we go, there's a church next by. I'm like, oh. Not even when I go places, I'm like, and people look at me like, but I don't feel like embarrassed or I'm doing something wrong when I go like this because I believe in God.
Mm.
If I do everything that I do now, I will always ask God for guidance. Sometimes you have to talk to yourself and talk to God. God, thank you so much. Thank you for giving me the privilege of having a house, having a business, having kids, having been able to walk, being able to not be at the hospital. You know how many people are in the hospitals dying. So that's happiness to me. Family, faith, my business, and getting along with people all the time. Sometimes, like it's impossible because human beings always have contradicts or have some kind of issues. But try to find what makes you happy, doing the right thing, integrity, helping other people. Like sometimes if you can help other people that are less fortunate, then you help them. It could be with food, $5. Because if you give $5 to people that need the money, God will bless you and give you like 10 times whatever you give. And that's a fact that and I seen it, and I advise everybody, if you need, you can help somebody else in need, you do it, and you will have a lot of blessings.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how my happiness. I know I'm happy because I have faith. I have my business. I have my house. I could go out of the house and not feeling like somebody's after me, like because I'm not, that's why it's very important, integrity. Don't steal money from other people. Don't be bad to other people. Don't do business where you're gonna get in trouble with the law, because sooner or later you're gonna get in trouble if you do bad things. There's beauty working hard, but under the laws, because if you break them, it's not gonna last too long, because you get in trouble. And everything that you have will go down the drain because you're doing bad things. So integrity, happiness is faith, for me, faith, family, and my business, and my self-respect when I do things in life, and that makes me happy.
And do you have any crazy financial stories about like crypto? I know you have some.
Well, yeah, I remember in crypto, I was I purchased Bitcoin at 40. No, it was 64.
6,400.
No, it's 64,000 Bitcoin.
Oh.
Yeah, because right now it's at 29. So I'm like, oh, it's gonna go to 100, and I'm like, no, and I was feeling like, maybe it's not gonna go, but the hype, everybody's okay, purchase whatever amount of Bitcoin, and then they went down to like 35,000, and I sold it. I'm like, I gotta sell it, and now slowly I'm going back. I buy Bitcoin or Ethereum, and then I buy it at a price and then sell it to make up for what I lost. I didn't lose it that much. Well, I got some, but I recoup already. And the stock market too is a little. You cannot think you're gonna become so, super rich by doing the stock market, because it's hard to read it. If it was that easy, I mean, sometimes you could hit it, and like crypto and NFTs and all these things that are coming up, which is good, but you have to be there on time. If you come late to the game, guess what? It's gonna be too late already. Almost party is over, and just you might lose money. So that's crypto.
And what happened with Dogecoin?
Oh, Dogecoin. I have on my phone. I had, and I show it to everybody. Like, I ordered 2.4 million coins of Dogecoin. When it was like 0.00019. It was like so cheap. And then I'm like, I always do like, I don't go market. I put my own price when I
The limit.
the limit. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I want 17, 0.00017. And I told my friend, I'm gonna put 10,000 right there. Just like, I don't want to put more money. It's like just wasting, like I'm gonna believe that's lost money.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna make money, but it's like lottery. If it's good, it's good. So then, no, it was more than it was like 4.5 coins at the time. So and then I put limit at 17.00017, and it was coming down from 25, 24, 23, 20, 18, and at that time I'm like, and my friend called me, it's coming down too fast. I'm like, well, I set up my mind already that I was gonna lose the money. I didn't want to lose it, but that was a lottery. So I'm like, no, I can't. What are you gonna do? I'm like, and I opened the computer. I'm gonna cancel, and I canceled it.
Oh.
And I canceled that order, and then it went to like 53 cents.
Oh.
I would have like 2.5 million. And I share it because it is true. I have it on my phone, and it went to 0.53. So I bought 4.5 Doge coins. So that would have been like 2.5 million that I would have in my pocket.
What did your friend say? Did he apologize?
No, he was, I'm sorry. But that's why I always tell you, look, go with your gut. What you think is right. Don't follow other people, because if you follow other people, guess what? You're not unique. I mean, I'm not saying go the opposite all the time, but when you have the guts, when you have the feeling, and then trust yourself and you did your homework, do what you think is good for you because that doesn't mean.
Yeah.
That high.
Yeah, and my friend and I showed them because it was with Robin Hood,
Yeah.
and it stays right there. The order
Yeah.
when I canceled it, it was just like a year and a half ago,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
not too long. I only have 2.5 million in the bank right now. And my friend, I have another friend. He he could have sold it. He made money, and then he goes, "No, it's gonna go up to $1." I'm like, "So Deutsche is not gonna go that high. No, it's gonna go to $1." He put like 100,000 because he didn't buy it low. He bought it when he was like 20 cents or 19.
Oh wow.
So he went to 53. So he had like 450 profit already.
Yeah.
But he goes, no, he got too greedy. He is going to $1, and I look, it's like, how much is it right now? Like less than
8 cents, I think.
yeah. So he's crying because he lost money. He lost money that he hadn't already.
Yeah.
And I'm not crying because I don't want to cry. But yeah, every time I remember, I could have 2.5 million dollars. I'm like, okay.
But I think nowadays there's so many opportunities, so you can't like go on a opportunity like that.
And that's a proof that if you follow and you do what you have to do, you could become a millionaire. Like $10,000, I could have 2.5 million right now, and that's reality. It's not that I'm making it up. And one of these days I'll put it up on your podcast because it's right there myself. So people do investments. That's why you have to work hard. Don't waste your money. Save it and invest it because sooner or later you're gonna make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then that's why the beauty of where you guys are right now. It's a such a beauty. It didn't exist before. It was you work 8 hours, or if you're self-employed, you gotta work really hard to make money. Now with all these opportunities, you can lose money too. I'm not saying, but if you do what you have to do, your homework and study and prepare yourself, I think you're gonna do really good.
So, what are 3 books and 3 movies that you would recommend for people, either in business or in life,
3 movies.
to like motivate them or?
I like the Wolf.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's the movie that I like to see, and I like the books. One that I like really, Poor Dad.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah, that one. That one, and the 7 Habits of Rich People. The book is really good, and there's another one that I really love is the Reach. Oh, I don't remember right now, but yeah, the other movie that I like, Wall Street.
Wolf on Wall Street.
Yeah. That's one of
That's one of
the
your
ones that
Yeah.
that motivation is that you see bad things, but also you see the potential that you if you put to it, you're whatever you have the best of you'll make money, and not just money. A lot of people think money is everything in life, and reality is you being happy and do whatever you want to do with passion, but automatically, believe me, the money will come to you. It's like a head is here. Do passion, and then the money is right there behind you. It's automatic. People don't believe that's the case. But you can't lose your mind just thinking about money, because whenever you do something with a lot of enthusiasm and passion, and the money will come right there.
If you could have dinner with 3 people, dead or alive, who would you pick?
Ooh.
Dinner. I know it's gonna sound bad, but I will do it with Donald Trump. Because you can learn a lot of things from this guy. And that will be, and the other one, I will say Tony Robinson.
Oh, Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
And I will say right now, I will have dinner with it's Stephen Curry.
Yeah.
Because I like the way he plays. I know.
Wait, why is there like a rivalry in your family? Cause does Nestor like the Warriors?
That's
But
what
then
it's
Dago hates the Warriors. Why is that?
Well, because see, the beauty is that we had the freedom of. See, if you go to the house, you can see I have a lot of bobbleheads of the Warriors. I have more than the Lakers, and I go for the Lakers.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be something that I realized.
Mm.
So if you go on that dinner, all of you guys will have the same number of Finals MVPs.
Okay. Not for long. Steph Curry going in there.
Yeah, but that's and then in the future, my dream will have have a dinner with you guys once you be at that level where you'll be very happy have a dinner with you and then hey guys, remember we had that conversation. Let me ask you how you feel now that you have these investments, now that you have all this money in your bank account. But besides that, I see you're very happy because you accomplished what your dreams were back then. Now you out of 20 you have 15 or 10. That's a beauty. Even if you fail on some businesses, it's part of it. So you gotta remember.
I think we should do a little rapid fire with questions.
Yeah.
Rapid
Yeah.
fire.
What
So
question?
any questions?
Okay.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
10 years, 90% real estate investments and stock market, and relaxing traveling.
Nice.
Are you planning on retiring soon? Or when is your expected age?
Yeah.
Well, I'm 55. I will say I was thinking 65 is a retirement or 62, but no. If God permits, I want to be working in investments until I'll be like 100 years old.
Yeah.
Because that makes me happy.
Yeah,
I don't see
that's
myself just staying home and just
Yeah.
watering the lawn and then going down to sleep.
Yeah.
I don't see myself like
Yeah.
that. I see myself going into watching houses and traveling and all those things.
Yeah.
What have you learned as a business owner?
I say discipline.
This.
You have to have discipline. You have to never give up. You have to know that there's gonna be a lot of negative people that will give you bad, so negative thoughts about the business, about yourself. But it goes.
This one.
So yeah, it's about and always remember your mentality is stronger than your feelings. Has to be. You have to get that mentality, because sometimes you're gonna sleep only 3 hours and get your feelings are telling you go to sleep 5 more hours, but your mentality no, get up and do what you have to do.
And then we're starting to wrap it up. So what's some advice you would give to people in terms of happiness and in terms of for business?
For business, integrity. That is in my mind all the time. Integrity. We do what you say and don't make promises if you know you're not gonna make them. Networking. You have to know a lot of people. Connections are very important. Sometimes we don't want to have. We're kind of shy to talk to people, but once you learn how to have that conversation, it's gonna be so beautiful. Because all these connections, you can go many places, and they know you and
I think you make more money by who you know.
yes,
Yeah.
who you know and the connections. And about happiness is doing what makes you feel good and fulfills your mind and your soul and your body. I always believe in God. A lot of people tell me, why you always sing God? Like, for me, God is above, and like I always say, He created greater than me, because God is greater than me all the time, and I have the mentality and help other people. When I can help other people, I feel happy.
Alright, I think that wraps it up.
Wow.
That was a great
It's a really
podcast.
great podcast.
And
Thank you so much for the invite.
No, thank you for coming
on.
on.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Yes.
And I think our audience learned a lot. I think we learned a lot, all four of us. And yeah, Thank
Yeah.
you.
Remember, it don't matter where you're coming from. You could go be low income, high income. I know people, parents that they give their kids $500,000 here, do business. They just waste it on other things because they don't have the mentality. So you could be rich, poor, or whatever. It's up to you being happy and having money. And you don't rely on other people. It's just yourself mentally, and then you get other people to help you out with it, and hang around with the right people, not with the losers.
No losers.
Right.
Alright.
Thank you.
Alright, thank you.